Hey, there I am. Okay, that went badly.
Smooth
Okay,
start.
hi.
I didn't even see it, but I
Whoa.
heard it.
Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're fine. Everything is fixed. Um, Welcome to qualifier number two of the TLS season three. I'm
Welcome indeed.
Sale, and with me is Elegant.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I feel like this just started
So,
off a bit slowly after Sale's initial thing. What
oh
actually
my,
happened? Did he fall off a chair or something?
no. My webcam was like pointed at the back of my desk instead of
Oh,
towards me.
could happen to
It's
the best.
it's like the default position. I did not position it beforehand. That was a boo boo.
Damn, damn. That's what stream tests are for.
Yep, that is
But
indeed. Clearly,
yeah,
we are well prepared for today.
here we are though, and it is of course qualifier number two of this, the third TLS. I'm pretty excited for this. Having a look at the race distribution in this qualifier, I'm quite stoked up because I saw a lot of non-Zerg players checked in, so we got a lot of Terran and Protoss playing today. So I've got high hopes for a non-Zerg v Zerg final. Hopefully my hopes will not be short-lived.
I don't know, man. I kind of want a ZVZ finals again. I
Hey,
love me my ZVZ.
yeah, no, yeah.
By the way, if anyone did not watch yesterday's qualifiers, we'll probably spoil things today.
Can we? Can we do
Um,
that?
well, we'll probably do it by accident anyway, even if we decide not to. So this is just
Yeah,
fair
right.
warning.
Why not
Um,
then? Close your
yes.
ears if you don't want to be spoiled.
So yesterday, spoiler alert, we did have, of course, True Touch taking it down and qualifying straight into the TLS Season 3 with Zaraki coming in second and getting a ton of points. So that was pretty exciting. But of course, we did have two non-Zergs in the semifinals as well, so that was pretty interesting, pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. And of course, you do get points for getting to the semi-final as well. So you do get points getting into the semi-final, right? It's not just the final.
Yes, you
Yeah, you
get you
do get.
get points, I think, from round of 16 and up, I want to
Yeah,
say.
that's what I
Actually,
thought.
actually, I think round of 32 and up. Round of 32 is only a few points, but
Wow.
you still get like a tiny little bit of points.
Yeah,
So yeah,
but
definitely
anyway, it still
encourages
matters.
it encourages a lot of participation because even if you don't get super far, if you just play in a lot of events, you can just get enough points.
Yeah,
Like that's how Enjoy Me I think qualified for the last two seasons. I don't think he ever placed really highly. He just got like 5 round of 8 finishes and then just boom into the
yeah.
tournament.
That's still not bad. That's still pretty
Yeah.
good. Round of eight finish. That's
Hmm.
very, very respectable. But yeah, yesterday we had really good kind of race distribution in the semi-final. But the favourites were, I think, always the Zerg players, weren't they, to go through to the
Yeah,
final?
I mean, I would say True Touch was probably a huge favorite yesterday.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I had a quick glance through the player list today, just like you, and I didn't see any clear favorite, to be honest.
No, me neither. Me neither. That's one thing I noticed as well. There's nobody who stuck out kind of a head and shoulders above the others for me.
Mm.
I don't know. I thought Doty was right up there as a possible favorite for this one.
Yep.
We've seen him
Um,
go very far in the past.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, there are a few other like previous TLS participants, like Zero, Cozy, Infected, all played, so I expect them to do decently well as well. But yeah, Doty, I'm really interested to see his form because, of course, didn't really perform so well in season one, even though he was seeded, and then kind of
yeah,
crashed. Or actually, wait, no, he didn't even participate in season two, did he? So I have no idea what kind of shape he's in, but when he's on his game, he is pretty scary.
yeah. He can be damn good when he's on his game. So hopefully he's been practicing up. But yeah, there's some really interesting guys in there today. We've got players. We've got a mixture of the old school and the new. We've got, of course, Andre making another showing. Let's see if he can give himself a bit better credit than yesterday. He
Yep,
didn't play badly yesterday, but he was let down at a few key moments. So it's going to be nice to see what he can come up with today. But there's a really, really nice distribution of players.
indeed.
Keen to see Zaraki back in action as well. It's going to be really good fun.
So once again, a quick overview of how today is going to work. Just like yesterday, we're going to have a few hand-picked games from the earlier rounds that were just kind of cast randomly, and then we will cast the semifinals and finals in their entirety at the end. So without further ado, the very first matchup of today is going to be Fold versus DarkNetHunter from the round of 64.
Very nice.
Indeed, it is going to be a best of one on Destination. Of course, a lovely map that we got to see a lot of yesterday, and we're going to see it again in the first map today.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of PvT action. This is going to be a pretty good game. Fold should be a name who's known to a fair number of you. I mean, we've seen him kind of hanging around about a lot of lower level kind of leagues, and he's
Yeah.
made a few breaks into the higher leagues as well. Um, he's quite a reliable player, but I think he was a bit unhappy with his performance yesterday. I think he might have made some crucial errors. So he's going to be very pleased that he gets on stream today, and of course facing down against DarkNetHunter. I don't know too much about DarkNetHunter. Is this a guy under a Smurf, or do we just really not know who he is? I've seen him from forums.
I have seen him in forums as well, but as you say, I don't really know much about him. He's kind of the opposite of Fold. Well, not really the opposite, but Fold is also a guy who's all over the forums, as well as always participating in leagues and things. So he's definitely a big community guy.
He's the anomaly.
I think he's something like B- high or something like that.
Maybe B.
Yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid Protoss player.
Yeah. But I mean, you're never quite sure what you're going to see out of Terran players, even if it's an unknown guy. Do you remember last season when Draw almost got knocked out of a qualifier by Poetic?
That's right.
Do you remember that?
I do remember.
There's always some kind of crazy factory timing or weird little thing that can come out that can just catch the Protoss off guard.
Especially on Destination.
Especially on Destination, I was about to say. So not to count DarkNetHunter out of it quite yet. He could be the ace in the hole.
Indeed he can. I'm really hoping we see something crazy like a proxy factory float or something. I just want to see a factory land in the back of the Protoss base and build vultures.
It'd be good fun, wouldn't it? You're against Protoss today. What is with you?
Hey,
I mean,
I like my Protoss play. See, what I want to see is, the Terran player do something crazy like that, and the Protoss player overcome the adversity and triumph in the end. I mean, we don't want it to be too easy for the Protoss. We want a story. We want them to, grasp victory from the jaws of defeat. That's the kind of win I want to see.
Yeah. Once again, I have to agree with you. You make a very, very convincing point. I'm feeling just about ready to go into game one.
Excellent. I am ready as well. So here we go into the game. And here we go into game number 1 at the 12 o'clock position as the blue Protoss player. We do have Fold, aka Entobutts. I don't know this ID, but I've been assured that this player is in fact Fold. And his opponent at the 6 o'clock as the purple Terran, Qualifier, aka DarkNetHunter. Yeah.
Very good. Seems we've got a little bit of latency issues. Both these guys playing under some really strange Smurfs. I don't think I've ever seen either of them around before. I wonder if these are just kind of randomly generated names that the TLS server assigns to people or something. This is pretty crazy. Are you EURNA? Neither. Yeah, so maybe a little bit of internet trouble between these guys. Of course, Fold all the way out in the sticks over in Australia, so that can give anyone's internet a bit of a run for its money.
Those bloody Aussies, always lagging it up.
Is DarkNetHunter Polish? I feel like he's Polish.
I don't know. Can we stats him on here? Hold on. Qualifier. Oh, it doesn't say his country. Oh, that's lame. Why does it say his country?
Yeah, it says even on the tournament it says NA for his country.
NA?
His country is not applicable.
Oh, Tupacalypse says he's from Great Britain. He's a fellow Brit.
No, really?
That's crazy.
Woo! My country is not applicable.
Oh, this is some discrimination right here. What's up with that, man?
Yeah. Hang on. This is crazy. So yeah, DarkNetHunter representing the British population. Go DarkNetHunter. Looks like Fold not going to be doing anything crazy. He's thrown down his gateway, thrown down his assimilator, preparing to go into a nice standard, well, as far as we can tell, a nice standard early mid game. And DarkNetHunter doing exactly the same. Yeah, making up the barracks now, got his gas going on. It's all happening, it's all going completely as normal, and Fold is about to get the scat off on Mr. DarkNetHunter. He's not going to be playing spot.
And it looks like he will get up here before the wall. Yeah, dead way before the wall finishes. Sometimes Terran players will actually stop the construction of the barracks and start a depot just to block the probe and then go back and finish the barracks, but did not do that in this case. And he's taking a lot of damage on this SCV, but it looks like he'll be okay.
He might get shut out. He might get shut out. He does get shut out.
Oh, he might get an SCV though.
Kill. No, he's not going to get that either. Damn.
He should attack the depot. It doesn't have that much HP because it wasn't building for that long. Oh, that'd be hilarious if he forces a cancel. No, he's not going to.
Unfortunately not.
That would have been amazing. Anyway, it looks like SCV is gonna go counter scout over here, and oh, probe still being a little pain in the butt. That
For some
might
reason,
die.
it popped into my head that we were about to man a supply depot on those middle patches. Is that possible there? Yeah.
It might be. It's really hard though because you have to have probes not mining like the top and bottom ones because the depot's really fat. But I think you might be able to. I have actually been manor depoted in a game before, so it's possible in
Really?
some places. Yeah.
That's not something you want to run up to, I don't think. I think
Well,
I have been as well, actually, now that you
Yeah,
mention.
I don't think it's effective though. Like I don't think it actually matters if it happens to you, because like the SCV just has to stop
can we
building.
see a probe get in? Ooh, sorry.
That's all right. Looks like probe is in fact chased away by the SCV Marine combo.
I thought he was going to sneak by then, but the SCV was doing some weird kind of wobbling about underneath the barracks. I think the probe maybe could have got through if he'd been persistent, but it looks like he's happy with his lot. He's happy to wait around outside, and he's not missing too much. I mean, we've got only one factory so far. We do still have 3 guys on gas, so interested to see what we're going to have next. Is that a starport? Yes, it is in fact a starport. So not too strangely on destination. We're going to see some dropship strategies because, of course, particularly notable is the cliff behind the natural expansion, which allows you to land tanks and be incredibly inconvenient.
Indeed it is, and there's actually a lot of different places you can land. So obviously you can go all the way behind the natural and range the mineral patches, but you can also just drop on the right side high ground cliff area, as you said, and you can just range the gas. And I'm not sure if you can actually clip. I think you can clip the right side patches as well. So there's a couple of options for you there, but obviously that would rely on the Protoss actually taking his natural. So far, Folder's actually gone for a very safe opening here, going 1-gate robo instead of just doing like a 1-gate expand or something like that. And we're gonna see these goons poke up here. Do they have range yet? Not quite, but it is almost finished. There's only one Marine here. Unfortunately for him, he's stranded on the outside of the wall. The first tank though is out, so these goons won't cause too much more trouble. Probably pull these back. You
Range.
can't really
get
that tank with the wall there. Interesting idea though.
That's quite a lot of shield effect. Yeah, I think he was thinking that shield was going to be done at that moment, and he went in, and the Dragoons weren't able to get their shot off, and so it took a free hit from the tank. A little bit unfortunate there, but it really doesn't matter so much for Fold. He's probably going to make an observatory anytime soon. We don't see a shuttle on the way, so
yeah, he's got a lot of money. I don't know why he's not building something. Is he saving for a support bay, or what's going on here?
He just started the shuttle already, wouldn't he?
There's a random pylon on the right side, but it looks like that's just a spotting pylon. That's actually going to be really useful. He might see the dropship with that.
That's been there for ages, though.
Really?
I was wondering if that was a bit of a fake out.
No, I totally didn't notice.
That was his third pylon, I think.
Ah, okay.
So I wonder if that was a little bit of a kind of ploy to maybe confuse his opponent.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be it, and well, it also does serve as a spotting pylon, because going along the right side is definitely the normal path for a dropship. We'll have to see whether this dropship actually goes across there. He might just fly straight up, thinking that there won't actually be anything spotting him anyway, and it looks like he's just going to he might wait for this 4th Vulture to come out before he goes. Mines is finished, so, you know, his timing isn't quite perfect. He's a little bit delayed on this 4th Vulture, but the Vultures do build quite quickly, so he's not going to have to wait too much longer.
They do. I was about to say, I wish Fold had his probe in the natural expansion of DarkNetHunter, but then he does in fact put the probe into the natural anyway, because that's a bit of a giveaway when he sees the late expansion time. He's going to see how far ahead his expansion is, and he's going to know to be prepared against something sneaky from the Terran. And as we can see, the dropship is going to fly directly over the spotting pylon, so that's really nice positioning for Fold, and he's going to be able to get back and defend. Should be able to clean this up without too much trouble as long as he's on the ball. He's got 3 gateways now pumping Dragoons. Should be absolutely fine. His first observer about to pop out as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Oh, looks like, wow, the dropship goes left, and the Dragoons have been faked out here. It's funny, because before the dropship was spotted, Fold actually moved his Dragoons preemptively to the left in case there was a dropship coming on that side. And, oh man, he's actually gone all the way on the back. His goons are completely out of position. They're actually now stuck behind the minerals. His main mineral line is completely undefended right now. Looks like he has an obs here, though, and he definitely knows that something's going on. He sees the command center building, but it's too late here. Now the Vultures get into the main base. The gateways are going to get mined up here. How many probes will he lose? The probe pool is even slightly late here. He's losing a good number of probes, and these goons are going to be delayed by these spider mines on the retreat. It looks like DarkNetHunter might even try and mine up the goons directly here. Oh man, getting a good surround with the mines. Oh man, getting 2 of the goons. And almost a 3rd one.
Yeah, almost a 3rd, and that mine landing on that 3rd Dragoon, not quite killing it, but doing some serious damage. And we have 1 Vulture still in the mineral line doing damage, and that was quite quite an uncomfortable drop fold. I mean, he really didn't clean it up as well as he could have done. And that was nice decision making from DarkNetHunter right there to turn the dropship around. It was risky because, as we saw, he could have been caught by the Dragoons as they made their way across the map, but just managed to avoid them with the dropship and was able to really do some pretty nice damage with that. And if he hadn't have done that, Fold would have been quite far ahead, even just from the build order.
You know, one thing I would have perhaps liked DarkNetHunter to do also would be to have 2 Vultures just run into the natural while all the goons were in the main base. Because, you know, the natural expansion was completely undefended. Fold made a pretty basic error there to send his entire Dragoon force back into the main when I don't think it was quite necessary. He definitely should have left 1 or 2 Dragoons at the natural, because that kind of multi-pronged attack is such a common trick from the Terran. It was just, I think, a little bit lucky from Fold, actually, that DarkNetHunter didn't do it. But unfortunately for him, he's now going to get tank drops behind the natural, as you were saying earlier, the perfect position, and he's going to start ranging down these mineral patches, and that's going to be really annoying. He should siege both of them before he gives himself vision. Yep, so he gets the maximum amount of shots here. There we go, Fold. How good is the reaction time? It looks like not perfect. He's going to take a couple of hits here.
Yeah, he loses five probes, and that's quite serious after his early deficit, losing so many to the Vultures. I mean, he must have lost at least 10 probes by now, which is really, really bad. And his economy is not in nearly the shape it should be, and he's going to have to, I think, ditch any ideas he might have had about going to an early third, and he's just going to have to play a fairly aggressive mid-game, I would imagine, from this point, just so he can have the army to really make it count. He does manage to clear those tanks up, but otherwise I think he's going to be open to all kinds of things, and we do see a third factory going down now for DarkNetHunter with a machine shop as well.
Yeah, going triple machine shop straight away, that's pretty interesting. Usually I think it's like 2 machine shops in 4 factories or something like that. So he's going fairly tank heavy, but look at this Fold going 2 base Arbiter. That is an interesting choice here. It's actually quite risky to do this when your opponent is going heavy drops, because it's so easy for them to just drop a Vulture in the base and scout what you're doing. So even if you do try to hide it in some random place that won't get scanned, there's a pretty high likelihood that it'll get scouted anyway. Now I don't think that DarkNetHunter knows it's coming just yet, but I guess we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, as a build though, it can function even if it's scouted. I mean, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Because it has many advantages. It's not like some weird kind of mid-late game cheese. It does work as a kind of standard build. And there was a time when, of course, around about the time of Destination being really big, where 2-base Arbiter was such a staple for Protoss. I mean, that was basically all you saw at one point, PvT.
That's true, and whoa, double armory coming up here for DarkNetHunter. That's interesting. His build is a little bit wacky here. I don't know if this is intentional or what. So he's gone 3 machine shop into 3rd CC into double armory. I mean, I guess you know, with that fast 3rd CC, he is kind of playing the long game here. But I don't know. This Destination isn't quite like you know, like Fighting Spirit, where you can get that 3rd very easily. The position he's built, it looks like he's going to float it over to the left side, but he's going to have to cover quite a bit of open ground to actually keep that safe. I would have actually preferred him to take the right side base, where you can actually siege tanks in the main on the high ground to help defend it, and you can just like wall off this little choke.
Yeah,
it's a pretty standard expansion pattern on Destination. So I'm a little bit confused by the positioning of this 3rd's command center.
Yeah, because that's really difficult to break on the right-hand side as well. Once you get that, I think that the 3 machine shops, he's probably imagining that his opponent that Fold has had to build up quite a significant Dragoon force and neglect Zealots a little bit because of the risk of drops. So that might explain why he's using the mass machine shops rather than Vultures and a few tanks to push out, because he thinks that's going to be more effective against Dragoon force.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. But it looks like he is moving out now with his mainly tank force, as you say, with Panda Bear Guy providing some extra cover here, but he's got to be really careful. I hope he starts building depots and stuff as well to help block, because even with these mines here, it's going to be quite risky to try and defend this, although, yeah, as you said, not quite that many Zealots yet, but looks like a big round of Zealots is now being produced. Do they have speed yet? It looks like not quite. I can't find the Citadel. Oh, there's a Citadel. Okay, speed is on the way. But you see, there's actually a mine at all of the potential 3rds for Fold. So DarkNetHunter knows that there's no 3rd base yet, so he should be really, really defensive right now. I mean, his 3rd base is already about to start mining.
Fold.
Ooh.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so DarkNetHunter's 3rd base is like already mining, and Fold doesn't even have a 3rd Nexus started yet. So DarkNetHunter should be really, really careful now. He's like, okay, this guy's doing 2-base something, 2-base Arbiter, 2-base Carrier, whatever it is. He's got to be really defensive.
He knows it now. One Vulture Mage has sneaked through into the main, and we'll have seen the Arbiter Tribunal, have seen the Stargate, and there's a couple of Dragoons about to clean it up. The probe's actually doing the job for them, but DarkNetHunter does get a full scout. Fold is getting his third base, but that's really, really delayed. So the Arbiter tech really needs to come to bear before that third base properly gets rolling. DarkNetHunter is a little bit low on SCV count. I just took a look. He hasn't got that many in the main. He has got a transfer going out now, but he's not going to be able to saturate that third base so well straight away. So I think that gives Fold a little bit of time to kind of make those arbiters work for him and do some damage to pull DarkNetHunter back before he gets too far ahead with that superior economy.
Yeah, but Fold, interestingly, went for Stasis first instead of Recall first, which, I mean, I think that's the safer choice, but the whole point of two-base Arbiter is that it's really, really flexible. So if Fold saw that there was this fast third base going up for DarkNetHunter, I really think he should have gone Recall first.
Yeah.
You know, the Stasis first is mainly to defend against any kind of two-base aggression. If the Terran's taking a fast third, there's no way he's going to attack you anytime soon. So go for the Recall and kind of punish him. And you can see the Terran army is really stretched out here. I mean, he's got to cover all this area on the left side, so if you just Recall the main, it's just so vulnerable.
I mean, well, Arbiter tech is a bit annoying in that it takes a long time for you to have anything ready. So Recall, I'm not quite sure how the energy works out. If you go for the energy upgrade just before you start building your first Arbiter, that should finish just before the Arbiter pops out, and that gives you extra starting energy. But then, is there time to research Stasis and then Recall and then to just have enough energy for a Recall, or is that not efficient?
I have had lengthy debates on this topic. I am not a huge fan of getting that energy upgrade very early. I don't think hold that thought. Looks like we have an attack coming in here. Oh man, see this is the problem with taking this left side third. I mean, look how thin the line is here. You know, it's sort of a decent-ish position, but just not enough stuff. Where is the rest of the stuff? He's got more tanks behind. They're coming in right now.
He's got so many tanks. He's got so many tanks waiting in his natural.
Oh, we got a big drop actually in the Protoss main. Did not notice this. A double dropship going in here. So that's where some of his army is. Fold being forced into like a counterattack on the third. He's trying to pull some units back here, but I wish those tanks... Oh, is he gonna get the Tribunal? Oh, he's targeting it down. Unfortunately, I think this third base, is it gonna die? No, the third base of DarkNetHunter isn't even gonna die here. Fold, losing his Arbiter. Oh, he's gonna lose the Arbiter Tribunal. Oh no, the tanks aren't focusing it anymore. Oh man, why were they not focusing it?
They were at the end, but not quite getting it there. The Arbiter Tribunal remains on 96 health. Close call right there before the energy upgrade finishes. And we might see a few of the dropships go down the way back. Oh, Fold just missing the boat on that one. But the third base does survive for DarkNetHunter, so that's actually worked out pretty well for him. And that's created really, really serious delay for Fold's mining in his main. Fold does have a fourth base up. Oh, well, he's got one on the way up now, but that's going to be a little bit delayed. His economy is still playing catch-up, and he wasn't able to do much damage in that attack and did lose a fair number of units as well. But sorry, what were you saying before about Arbiter energy? I'm quite curious to get your take on it.
I don't think I think the getting Arbiter energy last, like Fold's done here, is correct. Getting it first, but I don't think you actually get the starting energy boost, like you said, unless the energy upgrade is finished before the Arbiter comes out.
Yeah.
Now Arbiters do take a while to come out, so I think you can time it so that it will finish first, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't see an argument both ways. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a bit of a nasty mine hit at on the left-hand side base for Fold. Not a Dragoon, not too much of a big deal. And he's got a decent army now, and looking at it compared to DarkNetHunter's army, it's not too inferior. The supply count is slightly in Fold's favor. He's about 10 to 15 supply ahead consistently at the moment, so that's not looking too bad for him. And despite this economic disadvantage he's been at for quite a while, it doesn't seem to have really made too much of a negative impact so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think DarkNetHunter's having some macro issues.
Recall!
What the hell?
That's
random recall
weird
position.
Recall. Really weird recall. I don't even think that was necessary. You could have just walked down the ramp. But anyway, Fold doing a recall into a slightly peculiar position. He's going to be able to take out a fair number of tanks right here. They're in a defensive position at that base. But I don't think he's going to be able to take out the base. Again, crucially, he's going to lose all that force. And that is not an insignificant force. That was about a control group and a half. He's mostly lost the Zealots, but almost all of the Dragoons have gone down now as well. He's got a handful of units remaining, but that seemed very, very unnecessary. He could have landed directly onto the command center with that recall and just taken it out really quickly. And DarkNetHunter might not have had anything to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was just scared that there were mines there or something, but as you say, pretty weird. Now, he did kill a decent number of tanks there, so it wasn't a complete loss, but you gotta be careful doing recalls like that. It's so easy to just recall your army to death and then have the Terran do a big counter push, and suddenly you find yourself without an army. And if we look at the supply, it's actually really close, 140 to 139. It's basically neck and neck here, with the Terran, the Terran now getting his 5th base as well. You know, I mean, it's a 2-player map, so it's pretty easy to get a split map situation, and that can be very dangerous for the Protoss, especially since the middle of the map isn't that open. So if you get a big ground army, it's actually not that easy in the super late game to engage the Terran. That's why you see generally in late game PvT on Destination, a switch to carriers is the best choice.
Yeah, that's true. It can be really difficult to engage.
Oh, we got a probe train interception on the left side. Oh, man.
Oh, no. How many went down? Let me see the kills on the Vultures. It looks like he lost about 6 or 7 probes in total. That's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, it's true what you're saying. I mean, there aren't so many great places for the Protoss to engage the Terran unless he gets across the bridges and gets around on the Terran just as he moves out, just past his own natural. Or unless he gets a really good surround as the Terran comes across those bridges. It can be really tough, you know, because if the Terran sieges up on the bridges, then that gives him a great defensive position right bang in the middle of the map. And over on the right-hand side too, pushing upwards through that pass can be really nasty for Protoss to deal with as well.
Indeed, it looks like we have another attack coming down the right side. Just a small handful of units, actually. Looks like Fold doesn't want to commit too many of his forces. It's quite funny because apparently yesterday he had a massive lead in the game that he got knocked out in. He was like 200 supply to 150, I think, in a PvP, and he did like a suicidal attack over the bridges on Destination and lost the game. So I don't know if that's this is part of the reason, but he's being very conservative here and just using a small group of Dragoons to actually snipe the command center. So really nice snipe there.
I'm surprised that went down. I thought the SVs were going to get a better repair on it. He's going to be able to pick up a couple of siege tanks, but he's going to lose that whole force. It is, of course, a suicide force. It's never going to be getting out of there. As we saw yesterday. In which game was it? A Protoss player got his force completely trapped over that side of the map and basically lost him the game right there and then.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the players, but I know what you're talking about.
But once you go in there, it's so hard to get out again if your opponent has an even vaguely mobile army. It looks like DarkNetHunter's thinking he might uproot and go forwards here, although he's only moving a little bit of his force around, so maybe he's just going to stay on the defensive for the time being. It's interesting, his approach here. It looks like he's really going to try and split the map. He's not showing any real aggression at all. He's got a group of tanks moving around and a group of vultures, but that's not a full push. Certainly not at this point, I don't think.
Now, normally I'd be okay with the Terran splitting the map against a Protoss. As I say, it's generally a good idea, especially on a map where there's no big ground engagements possible for PvT. However, we do now see the start of the carrier switch from Fold. He's got +1 air weapons just now starting. He's got the first carrier on the way. I don't actually see... Okay, there's a second Stargate, so it looks like he's got 2 Stargates making the carriers. Now, DarkNetHunter, I don't know how comfortable he is playing against carriers. He has started some Goliath production. I don't know if that's just anti-Arbiter Goliaths. It looks like it because he's not continuing Goliath production, but he really needs to sniff out these carriers and switch to Goliath, which he actually can't do because he's almost max. So he should go for a big attack or something, or a steady push up either side, maybe up the left side to deny this space or something. He's got to start trading out supply for Goliaths, or else these carriers are going to be bad news for him.
Yeah, he really does. Almost maxed is not a good place to be when the carriers start popping out. And he's not producing anything at home, so I presume he's going to try and squeeze in a few more Goliaths. A lot of mine detonating on a single Zealot right there. I do think we got an EMP off on one of Fold's Arbiters, so one of the Arbiters is going to be out of action for a little while. So he's not going to be that strong in defending any kind of push if it gets into a decent position, but I think Darknet...
Recall on the right side. He's spotted by some spider mines, but there's no units over here to help defend, so it doesn't even matter. Fortunately, there's no SCVs at this command center, so it might not be a huge loss unless it goes into the main. Uh-oh. Oh god, the army is out of position. Here we go. Recall into the main base. Recall's another Arbiter, but actually has no energy, but this is going to be such a pain in the butt for DarkNetHunter. He's bringing back 3 tanks. No way those tanks are going to clean this up, and he's going to get severely supply capped here. His entire depot farm is going down. In fact, the army's being targeted. +2 armor is not going to finish here. Oh, man. Is the other one going to finish? Nice EMP, but I think he's going to get the +2 attack. Oh, sorry, these are 3-3. 3-3 was literally seconds from finishing. And it's not going to finish here. However, he still has an upgrade advantage, 2-2 against 2-0. So it's not the end of the world, but that was such amazing timing for that recall. God, if I was DarkNetHunter, I would be so annoyed by that.
Yeah, that's incredibly unfortunate, but maybe that's actually deliberate by Fold, but either way, Great recall timing there for Fold, managing to knock out the 3-3 upgrades, which are of course so important in this matchup. And that's going to allow Fold to get really back into the upgrade game. He should be doing a little better than he is doing. He's only got 2-0-0 right now, so he should use this time to really get back in front. That recall finally getting cleaned up, but his supply blocked DarkNetHunter quite significantly. But DarkNetHunter was able to free up quite a lot of supply during that attack.
He can't reuse it because he needs more. Whoa. Okay, so a million
Where did
depots
you build
suddenly
those?
just finished. Looks like he built some in the middle, like to wall himself in.
That can be good. Oh, we got another recall going in on the left. He's going to go onto the command center. There's a shuttle in there with lots of Sidestorm as well. Will he be able to take out the SCVs?
So the SCV storm!
Oh!
Wow, nice. Nice moves here by Fold. I think he's going to lose his force again, but that was definitely worth it. Oh man, I can't even see how many kills are on this Archon. I want to finish it so we can have a look, but that was basically the entire SCV line right there. Very nice move by Fold. However, he has actually pulled the Terran army to the left side, which means DarkNetHunter could now move up and control that new expansion from Fold on the left side here. It's protected by some cannons, but obviously cannons do nothing against siege tanks. I really hope DarkNetHunter goes for it. He needs to counterattack here. He cannot just keep defending against the recalls. Because eventually you can see, oh my god, there's a lot of Stargates now. Looks like 2 Cybernetics cores and 4 Stargates. Really going for that carrier switch. As I said, that is the standard late game thing to do in PvT on this map. And DarkNetHunter really needs to do something about this. I mean, look, he's got so many tanks here. Why does he not just attack up the left side? I don't understand. These cannons will do nothing. They'll just melt to his tanks. Looks like he's having some trouble getting up the ramp. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's going to happen. That base is going to be completely defenseless. Fold has some kind of ground army still. He's on 181 supply again, so not doing too badly. He does have plenty of gateways up and running, but his ground army is not strong enough to deal with that right now. But he does have carriers floating out, and they might be able to deal with the tank threat. He needs to get over there quickly, though, because that next is not going to last too much longer under tank fire.
Wait, dude. I don't think DarkNetHunter remade an armory. I don't think he can make Goliaths.
Oh no.
Did he remake an armory anywhere? Because I can't see an armory. He lost the 2 armories and he forgot to remake them. So even now that he sees the carriers and he's got free supply, he cannot actually build Goliaths. Like, look at these factories. They're not even building anything. He wants to build Goliaths. I don't know if he even realized it. I mean, do you think he
realizes now?
Because it would be awesome if he just like went to the factories, hit G a bunch of times, didn't realize he didn't make Goliaths, and went back to microing.
Yeah, I think he has realized now he's got a factory. He's got another armory on the way up. It's still a little way away from being finished, and this is really, really tough for him. The next on the left-hand side does go down. The command center on the right-hand side goes down again as well. Fold is able to get rid of that. He maybe would have been able to do it with fewer units. He's going to waste quite a few zealots in there as well, without killing many tanks on his way out. But even so, that is nice for him, and he's managing to keep the economy of DarkNetHunter fairly well under control at this point. And the carriers should start to come in really, really useful. It's going to take a little while for a decent Goliath force to build up.
He's still not making Goliaths. He's only making vultures.
Oh no, and he's almost maxed out again on a round of vultures.
Man, what?
DarkNetHunter. This is a very strange decision indeed. He's just lost 1 or 2 Goliaths over on the left-hand side. He's losing them in small clumps rather than bringing any real force together. And I think that's pretty much all of his Goliaths going down.
He needs to just attack with everything right now to free up supply
absolutely.
and also to pull the carriers back. He just needs to go, man. You're at 1 out of 90 supply. Just go. Just attack. Okay, he's finally making some Goliaths, but he just needs to attack and buy time. I mean, he's trying to buy time by spamming turrets, and that's good. But, I mean, look at this. Fold doesn't actually have a significant ground army. I mean, the move you're supposed to make as Terran in this situation, when you're maxed on tanks and vultures and the guy has carriers, is to just attack.
Attack him. Make him use his carriers defensively.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the carriers actually, when they're in this low number, don't actually have that much DPS. So you can actually buy a ton of time with a giant ground army, but he is just not doing anything here.
It looks like he's finally getting ready to do that. But it actually may be a little bit too late. How many carriers do we have out on the map? We have, where is the main carrier force? Over there on the left, and it's going to really start becoming difficult now because he's got a lot of interceptors built up, and we've got at least 6 or 7 carriers in that force, and they're just hammering through these missile turrets. I mean, it's really no trouble for them at all. So they're going to be over at that command center any minute now. Where are the Goliaths? We have a couple of Goliaths coming out to the main, but really nothing to be taken into account by Fold. And finally, DarkNetHunter is doing some kind of action across the middle of the map, but his force has dwindled. And there is
oh no, emergency DTs are just killing everything. He's not paying attention. Oh my god, the classic emergency DT maneuver is killing so much. Okay, finally he scans it. Took a lot of damage from those DTs. Now the thing is, how much damage can he do before the carriers finish off this force? Because the carriers, oh my god, that is a butt ton of carriers. Wow.
That is a lot of carriers. Fold is all over this. Those carriers are going to clean this force up so so easily. It's just got out of control. We might see a storm. No, we won't see a storm, so it would kill more intercepts than it would kill tanks. And DarkNetHunter is forced to push back after killing maybe a control group, maybe 2 of units in total. Fold's economy, though, not doing so well at the moment. He's very, very short on money all round. Not mining so well at his top right-hand corner base. He is mining fairly well on the left-hand base, but that's not going to last too much longer either. And he's desperately trying to get that right-hand base up before he runs out of cash completely, which really mustn't happen, especially when you're going for a carrier switch.
Yeah, I mean, the only advantage that DarkNetHunter right now has is that he's got a huge bank. So, you know, if he can just maybe, like, keep the base count of full down and keep the carriers distracted, he can, you know, try and build up the Goliath force that he needs. But look at this, the carriers are just on the offensive all the time. DarkNetHunter unable to just distract them for long enough. And without a critical mass of Goliaths, any kind of engagement with the carriers is going to be bad news. You know, if he tries to just fight them with a single control group of Goliath, there's just going to be mincemeat. And oh man, is he going to get his armory sniped again? Tell me he has another armory somewhere. Does he have another armory?
He does, next to the CC in the main. But even still, they're going to make it there pretty quickly. There's not much that's going to stop these carriers if they're microed well. There are some Goliaths in the main, but that's still easily enough for these carriers to clean up without too much trouble. It doesn't exactly take pro micro to do so. And the armory is taken down, no more Goliaths, and these Goliaths are rapidly diminishing. The Goliath force is down to practically 0 once again. DarkNetHunter losing a few supply deep, but fortunately for him, he's got absolutely no supplies on 147 compared to Fold's 176. That was too much of a problem.
Don't run away, you should just attack. Actually, no, maybe he can kill the Nexus anyway. But,
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is looking increasingly grim for DarkNetHunter. He's got to do something about, like, this right side base, but the carriers are over there. I don't know. I mean, he's got to attack where the carriers are. The carriers are actually not that fast. Even compared to the Terran ground force. And doing some nice High Templar sniping here at the rally point of Fold. But where is DarkNetHunter's main army though? He just seems to, okay, he's got a decent number of units in his natural, but not nearly enough Goliaths. And he needs to stop throwing Goliaths away piecemeal like this, chasing down the carriers. He needs to have a big bunch of them together to engage effectively. Yeah,
he really does. And when you've only got 141 supply, I'm afraid the main army can look a bit deceptively weak. I mean, mostly DarkNetHunter's army is that handful of tanks and handful of Goliaths in the middle of the map. He really is light on the army count at the moment. He's trying to make another CC, but that's going to get taken down. I don't think he cancelled it. Not that it matters. He's got a fair amount in the bank, but he's not going to find that's the case for much longer. His main CC is about to go down too. He has no armories. Those carriers are just going to have free reign over absolutely everything from here on in until he gets another armory up.
By the way, why does Fold have 2 fleet beacons? Do you have any idea?
I honestly don't.
That's just some weird thing that I just noticed. Anyway, yeah, as you say, this is just free pickings for these carriers. DarkNetHunter has plummeted to 115 supply. Fold's still maxed out. I mean, you know, once these carriers make their way in a little bit, oh, this could be the last hurrah, actually. DarkNetHunter going in with all his Goliaths. If he cannot push these carriers away or pick them off somehow, he's going to be dead meat. But there's almost as many carriers as there are Goliaths here. That is never a good sign. The carriers, the Goliaths also never made it to 3-3. They're still at 2-2, whereas the carriers are actually at 3-2.
Why hasn't... Sorry, go on.
Well, some Goliaths going on the left side going to deny this expansion attempt, I think, from DarkNetHunter as well.
Yeah, why didn't DarkNetHunter build an armory somewhere else is what I want to know. He's insisted on rebuilding his armories in the same place every single time. And Fold just gone back to the same place every single time and killed the armories again and again and again. I don't know why DarkNetHunter didn't branch out and make one somewhere else just so we can keep pumping Goliaths. He's doing fairly well now, managing to land a good number of hits on that carrier force. But the carriers can just run away and do some good damage somewhere else. Losing that left-hand side base as well, not going to be good. The SCVs are unable to repair in time, and that Dragoon force is mostly going to be able to make it out as well. Sad times for our Terran here. It looks like Fold is all but ready to clean up the Goliaths in the main base.
Yeah, this is pretty much it, I think. DarkNetHunter now sub 100 supply. The left side command zone, as you said, got picked off. He still can't deal with these carriers in the main. You know, Fold doing a pretty good job with the carrier micro. He's not quite stacking them completely, but yeah, it's good enough. It's better than my micro at least. And I think DarkNetHunter is now no longer mining, so he's relying on the 1k bank. He's actually just lifted off his left side command center there to go and float it upwards to try and get another expansion. But even if he does, I don't really see what he can do here. Fold, no. I mean, he might even have enough carriers to just A-move this Goliath force. I mean, this must be almost a full control group.
Yeah, it's definitely approaching that. Goliaths don't stand hope in hell. They're going to get slowly picked off, and of course, barely able to make any more. DarkNetHunter's just going to find that he's not able to do anything quite soon. The Goliath Force is on its last legs, although the carriers are being quite scared off by that. That's not a small number of Goliaths even still, but as long as Fold micros competently and safely, he will be able to take those down. Meanwhile, DarkNetHunter trying to land that CC on the left-hand side again, but he's going to find a Dragoon Force waiting for him and might be able to snipe the CC before he's able to do anything about it. It lands down. I don't think Fold has noticed it quite yet. He's too busy microing his carriers, and the CC does lift up directly again. DarkNetHunter in a bad spot.
Yeah, he's down to 85 supply. I'm just trying to get some epic kill counts on these carriers. They're actually not an insane number of kills, at least that I can see so far. And whoa, looks like an attack coming down the left side. Fold not just going to wait for that command center to go up again. He's going to go down and attack these forces. There are a good number of siege tanks on the low ground, so it looks like the command center will at least stay alive. But now the carrier fleet is coming over, and that's going to be bad news for that command center. It looks like Fold's had enough fun in the main base of the Terran. Going to go make sure this command center does not get up and running.
Yeah, he's not going to have a hard time doing that. Talking of kill counts, we've got a 7-kill Dragoon. That's not too bad. I'm pretty pleased with that.
Where is that guy? Oh, I get it. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Nice.
8 kills.
Dragoon.
Wow, that guy is a bit of a hero. A bit of a Phoenix Dragoon. And the CC is looking like it's going to go down. GG!
Doesn't even matter. The CC lived, but Qualifier, aka DarkNetHunter, could not pull it off. And that is that for game number 1.
Yep, nice game there from Fold. Very calmly played after the slightly restless early game where he had a little bit of trouble defending against the dropships, but he did manage to bring it back. And he never really looked in any significant danger against DarkNetHunter.
I mean, I think he was a little bit behind, as you say. You know, between the harassment and going 2-base Arbiter against a fast third Terran and not really doing much damage. I would say it was a bit of a comeback, but DarkNetHunter just not able to deal with late game carriers clearly. So yeah. Well, that's all she wrote. I mean, carriers, it's a useful skill.
Very useful indeed. As we can see right there, they can just be so hard to clean out. And DarkNetHunter never really having an armory after that initial recall was just painful. I feel like he didn't prioritize Goliath nearly enough either. He just kind of didn't have the basic know-how of quite how to react in that situation, and it just got the better of him.
And I think that's a bit of a mistake as well. If you're going to go for a super late game TVP on destination and not have a plan for carriers, I mean, you know, if you're going to play defensively and split the map, the Protoss is going to go carriers, so you have to know exactly what you're going to do, and he didn't really seem to have any idea, so yeah, not the most well thought out plan. But that's alright, he put up a good fight, and Fold, of course, is a pretty strong Protoss anyway. So,
yep, yes, indeed.
With that, we're going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a ZVZ for you guys between LRM Infected and Jack MB. Don't go anywhere.